Hi, Brian. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, my name is Ed, and today I'm at Wesleyan College in Connecticut, and I have a banner that says, "Give me your best argument for not being vegan." You've sat down, which I appreciate very much. What is your best argument for not being vegan?
Have you ever tried Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, I've tried chicken before, yeah.
I'm just kidding. But, I mean...
Like the taste, then?
Cheeseburgers are just amazing.
I mean, look, there's no denying that animal products taste good, or at least, a good number of them taste good. Do you think that the enjoyment of these foods justifies the harm that purchasing these foods causes?
I don't know what's happening when they're being created.
When you buy an animal product, when you buy meat, what's happened to that animal?
Been killed.
Yeah. Do you think that's ethical?
To some degree.
To what degree?
So, like... lions have to eat.
Yeah. But they have to eat gazelles. You don't have to eat cheeseburgers.
Yeah, you don't. But the choice, you have the freedom to choose.
Yeah.
That.
I mean, you do have the choice, that's right. But it's something moral just because you can choose to do it.
I feel like it's not a moral issue. The moral issue is like how they kill some of these animals.
So tell me how you ethically take the life of an animal when you don't need to.
I don't know. I just feel like cheeseburgers are pretty good.
Yeah. But tell me how you ethically kill an animal when you don't have to.
I don't know. I feel like you're a professional than this, so like.
Well, just tell me what you think. Just tell me what you think, because it's not about what I think. It's about what you think.
No, yeah. I don't know.
So just be honest.
Like there's slaughterhouses and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I see videos of like cows, for example, being like thrown in pins and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's obviously not okay.
Yeah. Even if they taste nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's not okay to treat them like that.
Yeah.
But to some degree, like they are an animal.
Yeah.
We're animals too, but like, this is like a food chain, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds messed up to say, but like.
Well, there are food chains that exist in nature, and they, mean that animals have healthy population sizes, and they can exist within ecosystems.
Like the whole your brain, like we have bigger brains than some of these animals.
So it's okay to harm someone if they're less intelligent?
Well, they're just different.
Yeah. So it's okay to harm someone if they're different?
Well, if there's an animal above us in the food chain, I mean, I'd have no problem. Like dragons were around, like they'd eat humans.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a problem with it. But
well, you can say that now because there are no dragons around.
Yeah.
But the point is you don't have to eat animals, right? You could eat plants. And so when you choose to eat animals, you're choosing to contribute to an industry that causes animal harm when you don't need to.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. So how do you morally justify causing animal harm when you don't need to?
Can't really justify it, but like, I mean, everyone has different opinions on this, obviously. And I feel like when you, I don't know. I know I've seen YouTube videos about like plant eaters actually like gaining more from like protein-wise than meat eaters.
Can happen, yeah.
Which I was like, wow, it's weird because normally your main argument would be like, I need protein to get stronger.
Yeah. But you don't, right?
But I mean,
Not
you don't
for meat.
necessarily. Yeah.
You can get the nutrients you need, it's true. And that's a really great point because it shows, again, it's a choice, right? It's not something we have to do. Even if you want to gain muscle, you don't have to eat meat, which is a really important thing to recognize. You said right at the beginning, and your main argument, which is a very common argument, obviously, is that you like how these things taste.
Yeah.
So basically what we're saying is it's okay to do these things to animals because it provides us with pleasure. Are there any limitations to what we should be allowed to do to an animal for pleasure?
Yeah, for sure.
What are those limitations?
I don't know, like physically treating people like poorly.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing at all.
Killing them, treating them poorly as well?
No, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So does that not mean that meat, dairy, and eggs should also be within that limitation as well by the logic you've used?
It's interesting, yeah. Eggs, I feel like maybe.
I mean, eggs. All egg-laying hens are still killed in slaughterhouses when their production declines, and the farming of eggs is also, mostly pretty shocking. But they're all killed, as are dairy cows. So when we buy animal products, it could be meat, it could be dairy products, it could be egg products. We've either paid for an animal to be killed for those products, or we're paying for an industry where those animals will be killed, right?
Yeah.
But by your own logic, you said that would be a violation of treating them well because we're taking their life, we're killing them, right? And you said that there should be limitations, and one of those limitations should be based on how we treat animals. So by your own volition, you've come to the conclusion that what you do contradicts what you believe we should and shouldn't do to an animal, right?
Sure. Yeah. And yeah, this is something I kind of just walked by and I saw you like this sign, and like obviously don't have like strong views on this. Yeah. And I kind of just wanted to like hear what like what you say, and play a little devil's advocate.
Absolutely, absolutely right.
I mean, you're free to use the footage, whatever, obviously. But yeah, I just want to hear your side of this, because like you obviously have very strong opinions on this.
Yeah, I mean, the way that I see it, Brian, and you know, you're very kind for sitting down, and but the way I see it is that we have a choice, right?
Yeah.
And look, don't get me wrong, the plant-based food system isn't perfect. You know, it's not going to solve all of the world's problems. But what we have is a choice between a plant-based food system and an animal-based food system. And that animal-based food system causes more animal suffering, causes more environmental harm, and can also increase the risk of certain illnesses and diseases. So what we have is a choice, and one of those choices increases many problems, and one of those decreases many problems in relation to the animal-based food system. So if we have a choice to reduce animal suffering and environmental harm by simply choosing to eat plants, well then why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
That's what I think. So why wouldn't we? Or would you?
Yeah.
Would you try it? Give it a go.
I'd try it for sure.
Yeah.
Biggest thing I think, which will come down to for like most people, is just like they just like the taste of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the big things for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And like that's something that you kind of beat around the bush. Like in your opinion, is it like, what would, like a perfect world, what would you see? Like all these animals, like they have their own like area to, like do you treat like a bug is the same as you treat a cow?
No, because I think what defines what you could loosely refer to as some form of worth of life is related to sentience and capacities. You know, you have a very high worth of life because obviously you're a sentient individual who has subjective experiences. You have emotional and as well as physical feelings, and so you intrinsically, in my eyes, and hopefully to most people, have intrinsic worth. A cow also fits the same criteria. They have intrinsic worth, and it's not to say that bugs don't have worth. They do, but if you had to choose between killing a cow and killing a cricket, I would say kill the cricket over the cow. But we don't have to choose. You know, we can choose. It's not one or the other. There's also plants there as well, and so plants aren't perfect, but they're a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I know for sure.
Yeah,
it's totally. I'm just what's like the ideal world in your eyes? Like I'm just curious.
Yeah, I mean a plant-based food system, a world where we treat nature, humans, and non-human animals with respect and dignity, and with the respect that we should do. In other words, we don't exploit.
Sure.
And do you agree that a world that minimizes suffering and exploitation is a preferable world to the one we have now?
Yeah, for sure.
But obviously.
Oh, sorry.
When you say obviously, and I agree that, and I don't doubt that you think that.
Yeah.
But do you agree that your actions contradict that, obviously, because you're perpetuating the system that actually increases animal suffering and exploitation?
Yeah, maybe.
So there's a contradiction.
Yeah.
Between your aspirations and your current behaviors.
Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of a miss.
Yeah, a little bit, exactly, a little bit. But it's easy to solve it in this regard.
Yeah.
Yeah? Maybe try it, Brian.
I'll try to give it a try.
Yeah.
Other than that, what just other things about like you talk about your background?
Yeah. I mean, for me, I went vegan because of an ethical consideration, and I had a little pet hamster at the time. Have you ever had pets in your life? Any dogs, cats?
I had a dog.
Yeah. And how did that dog make you feel?
Happy.
Yeah. Why?
Just would lighten up your day.
Yeah. Is your dog still alive?
Dad.
Sorry. How did you feel when they died?
Pretty sad.
Why?
We didn't eat them though.
No. Well, why didn't you eat them?
Because I don't know. He's a dog. You don't eat dogs.
but why not? Morally, what's the difference?
Part of your family.
Yeah. Let's say that dog wasn't your pet dog, but they were the exact same dog, but instead they were a stray dog. Yeah. Are they now devoid of worth, or did they still have worth?
Yeah, they still have worth.
Yeah. But why?
Because I don't know. I guess that's true. It's kind of like how you talked about like cricket and the cow.
Yeah.
I feel like cows are pretty,
Yeah. And your dog had worth because they were an individual, right? They had a personality, they had likes and dislikes, they had feelings.
Yeah.
If someone tried to harm your dog, how would you have felt?
Oh, I would have been like, it's like harming my brother or like harming my parents, like just kind of, because they enter your, like, I feel like when you talk about your own personal dog is like whenever an animal comes in your life, no matter if it's like a cricket, like if you have a pet cricket or a dog, like it becomes more than just an animal.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, but they become. I mean, it's not they become more than an animal, but we appreciate them in a way that we don't normally appreciate other animals because we see things about them. You know, often when we think of animals, we view them as like abstractions. You know, cows, pigs, chickens. But when we get to meet them as individuals, we get to see that they have personalities and things that make them who they are, like your dog and my hamster as well. And through the experience I had of my hamster, I realized, hang on a minute, my hamster's an individual, but so are the cows and pigs and chickens. And if I would have felt upset or would have been outraged or would have tried to stop someone hurting my hamster, as I'm sure you'd have done your dog, well then how do we morally justify paying for terrible things to happen to animals who are in every way that matters the exact same as Rupert the hamster or the dog that you used to have?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah?
But really, I just got one more quick question.
Please.
I'll go just so
Of
they
course.
can go. Obviously, animals are kind of treated poorly in like these kill houses and stuff. If they were treated fairly, like they get fed until they're sick and stuff, and then, you know, we kill them off just to have a supply of those like meats. Would that be okay in your mind? And also in a situation where like life or death, is there a situation? And how do you handle that? Is it like you have to honor them, like respect? Like obviously you're gonna
Depends.
one shot, one kill.
Yeah, life or death, I would say life. You know, it is the case of if you had to do something to survive, you could probably find some way to morally justify that, or at least, you know, negate the moral implications in the same way of, you know, killing a human who was attacking you. You know, you could, doesn't mean you should just shoot humans, but you could find a reason or a situation where that could be justified based on the context of that environment. So I think there is definitely situations where you could justify it if you had to survive, for example, like with the lions we mentioned earlier. But we're not in that situation. And then secondly, the first question, it's an interesting question. I mean, firstly, there's a practical problem, which is that agriculture wouldn't be sustainable, like from a financial perspective, if we did that. And if we wait for animals to be sick, well, then the meat would probably not be healthy for us anyway. So there are definitely practical concerns that would make that tangibly impossible. Although theoretically, it's an interesting one. And the way that I see it is, if there's the possibility for an animal to continue living, then we shouldn't kill them prematurely. Like you wouldn't have done with your dog. You wouldn't have killed them early to eat them. You let them live as long as they could. And I don't know how they died, but maybe you euthanized them because they were suffering, or maybe something else happened. But you didn't do something to cut their life short unless it was a necessity for you to do so based on their feelings. And that's why I think we have to think about animals and their feelings. So not what we want from them, but what they want from their own life. And if we're violating their rights and their autonomy, that's when it becomes an ethical concern.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Brian. It was really nice to meet you.
Yeah.